Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing a great day. Hello? Yep. Yep. Ready, Freddy. Yes. Here we go. Good afternoon, everybody. I'll give you guys another minute or so to get online here and we'll start talking. Hope everybody's having a great day on Sunday, on this 4th of July weekend. Hello, Debbie, and hello, Kayla. And you got people from everywhere joining. We appreciate it. Here we go. Okay, so just a quick update here. Tropical storm Beryl, and it's at some point it's going to be a hurricane this afternoon, and then come on make landfall later on tonight up here on the Texas Central Coast. Right now we're hurricane warnings now, and tropical storm force warnings are obviously along the coastline here south of Corpus Christi all the way up to just Galveston area, both storm surge warning and hurricane warning. And the storm this afternoon, it's getting its act together. It's not perfect yet, but the visible satellite, you can look at the low levels. You can see that it's got like a little drill bit. It's trying, still exposed, still got some dry air wrapping around this east side, and back to the north, it's still getting entrained into the storm. So it's still taking its time to get organized, right? But it's getting there, right? So if we go from that and we go over here, let's go look at radar. Radar kind of tells a different story of what's going on. And we got these outer bands. We've got some pretty nice bands here. I'm at Matagorda, and there's been some nice bands come ripping through here, and we've had some heavy rain. But look at radar this morning, and it's and early this afternoon. It's slowly getting its act together, right? It's been trying to get rid of that dry air, mix that dry air out. The center right now is back here to the southwest. It's to the east of Brownsville there, and it's slowly making its way to the northwest real slowly. But the main thing is it's starting to finally get some bands wrapping in around this, kind of the eye feature here that's going to develop in this area, and it's going to lift up to the northwest here. So as this comes up to the north, continues to deepen, we'll see how this transpires later today as it comes up north to where we're located up here near Matagorda Bay and that area just east of there. So one of the things interesting, and I don't think this is going to verify. But it's just interesting. You got to kind of look at these things with a grain of salt. So one of the things interesting is the H-Wharf pretty aggressively, as if it was close to accurate as far as the timing goes. But if you look at noon, hurricane hunters out there right now, and they had 991 pressure. Wind fields aren't quite as good as the H-Wharf is implying at 1 o'clock, but it's close. It's not exact. But the H-Wharf, basically what it does is this between now and on into like 3 or 4 in the morning, it continues to deepen. It actually drops at almost 30 millibars from about 990 down to 960 at about 4 in the morning. It's got it in the eastern Matagorda Bay, just to my west here, and it says it's got surface winds at 97 knots, which is a pretty high Cat 2, right? Anything that's going to be a Cat 2 at landfall, this is H-Wharf. Now, it may be a little bit zealous. I think Cat 1 is very solid, and that's what the official forecast is a Cat 1, and I think that's going to verify. And if you look at, depending on how wide this eye is, and you can see on satellite right now, it's a pretty good size eye. It's 30, 40 miles across, and if you don't have convection in here, it does have convection around the eye, and what I mean by that is if you don't get some really good banding going on with the eye as it comes ashore, this shows pretty heavy bands, right? You got this outer band, this is at about midnight, then you got this inner core, that's where the 75 to 100 plus mile-an-hour winds will be around this eye as it comes ashore, and that's at 1 in the morning. And then it's already crossed. It's in the eastern Matagorda Bay at about 4 in the morning at 960, which is pretty deep there. Again, this is a high Cat 2. Almost borderline Cat 3 if you want to be super technical, but it's I think a solid Cat 1's for sure. We might get into the 2 region. The H-Wharf may be a little bit overzealous here, but it's trying to, what the H-Wharf does is kind of telling you the upper bounds of what it thinks might happen, right? Doesn't guarantee it's going to happen. Most of the other models are more like a low to mid Cat 1, right? And they're all in this general area, right? Eastern Matagorda Bay, just south of Bay City. just west of Matagorda, the city of Matagorda, which I'm at now, and then it comes on north from there. So we'll see what happens, and then after daylight, it starts rocketing northeast. Obviously, Houston, Galveston, you're going to have some large, onshore flow and storms, some flooding. You're also going to have tornadoes with these outer bands as that dry air cuts in between the storms. You can see that's what's implying here. So you're going to be quite a few tornadoes during, before sunrise and after sunrise. You see this dry air cuts in these storms here back off to the east of the circulation on the surface low as it tracks rapidly northeast. And as it does, the dryer cuts in these storms, and you'll have tornadoes from basically Houston northward across East Texas. It'll produce a lot of tornadoes during the day tomorrow, as this thing rockets up to the north pretty quickly up into east central Texas, and then east southeast of Dallas there, and it'll head over here toward Lufkin and Paris and on up in the northeast Texas, and you'll see the band as the storms go over to northwest Louisiana. So I expect some tornadoes to go off over there during the day. I think the more important thing is going to be storm surge, and we've got storm surge warning all along the coast. Let's go to peak storm surge. Most of it's going to be 3 to 5, in some areas 4 to 6. But I think the more important one's going to be let me get the static image up here if we can get this to reload. The internet's been kind of tough, to be honest with you, down here. But most of it's 4 to 6 in this general area. Storm surge warning. Again, just south of Beaumont, includes all around the Houston areas, all storm surge warning. Victoria, down here, Corpus Christi, has all storm surge warning. And let me look at the static image here. We'll go to peak if I can get this to load. Here we go. There we go. So back down here south of Corpus Christi, 2 to 4, 3 to 5 in the Rockport area, 4 to 6 you get just in the Matagorda, Victoria area, and then you go over here to Matagorda Bay, 4 to 6 all the way over here to the east there. And the Sargent area, I was over there about an hour and a half ago. Water was already coming across the highway there, which is the road that leads over to the outer area over there to Sargent. So this is Matagorda Bay, big waves all across this area. And then obviously if you get over to Sargent, I was there earlier, water was already crossing the road here that goes to the outer row of houses here. The water right here, you come off this bridge, the water overwash right now was already going over 230, the road Canal Drive. This is going underwater as of an hour ago, right in here. The water was already cutting over the dunes here, which is expected. It happens quite frequently from talking to the locals, but this whole area here is going to have large battering waves. There's already large battering waves. The thing that impressed me the most so far with this tropical storm, currently going to be hurricane later, is the frequency of the waves. In other words, you have this wave, the waves are sometimes 2 minutes apart, kind of the wave action as far as they're 4 to 5 feet high, but how quick are the waves hitting the coastline? And when I was over there about an hour and a half ago, the waves were literally like 15 seconds apart. It's just a wave. So there's just a lot of wave action going on with this storm. You can remember, when you have a Cat 2, Cat 3, 4 days ago, these waves are migrating across the ocean in this big open area. So even though it's going to be probably a Cat 1 that makes landfall, don't be surprised if the biggest story of all, when this is all said and done, you're going to have water at Surfside Beach, which is pretty typical, right? And you're going to have water going underneath the houses over there on stilts. It's the same thing over at Sargent, same thing at Matagorda Bay. All these areas are going to go underwater as far as the low-lying areas, 4 to 6 feet of water, and wave action on top of that. It's already happening, and we're still 15 hours out. So this is going to be the biggest story of all, is the storm surge is going to be more like a Cat 2 type storm surge. You're going to have a lot of water inundation in these low areas, 4 to 6 feet. You're going to, a lot of these outer roads are going to go underwater. A lot of these marsh areas south of Matagorda, this road right here, the water is only about a 1.5 2 foot underneath the highway here, down to the beach. I came on that road about 30 minutes ago. I drove on this road. The water's just below the road here. So if you get a 4-foot rise in here on the backside of the bay and up in this area, it's all going to be underwater. This road, the local police, and just talked to the fire chief here at the restaurant, he said this road's going to be completely underwater, right? You had 4 to 6 feet. So that's pretty typical in this area, if you want to understand. And then again, Sargent, you're going to go underwater on the outer barrier, 100% you're going to go underwater. And then the area Surfside Beach, I understand there's water already going under the houses over there. So that's just going to intensify as the afternoon goes on, and that's what we're looking at. I think the eye of the hurricane is very close to Matagorda, eastern Matagorda Bay. Placer's, the eye is going to cross somewhere in this general area. Might be over here, might be just west of me, 15 miles, and then the eye will rapidly move inland. It'll go near and just west of Bay City, probably over Blessing, Minefield, Markham. This is where the eye is going to track. So if we do get up to 100, anywhere from 75 to, let's call it 110 mile an hour winds, El Campo, that area at 7 a.m. where the track is, this is the area that's most likely to have damaging winds as we get in toward after midnight, as the eye makes its way inland towards sunrise tomorrow morning. So this area right here, again, Bay City, Matagorda Bay, Blessing, Minefield. This is where the damaging winds are going to occur with the eye, right, as it comes in. Again, we're probably talking in high Cat 1, maybe Cat 2. Some of the models are even calling a high Cat 2 now on the H-Wharf. I think that's probably the upper extreme. I think, maybe even a lower Cat 2 might be more realistic, but a high 1, I think we're definitely going to have a Cat 1, and I think a Cat 2 is clearly on the table. I'm not saying there's going to be a Cat 2, but I'm thinking that's clearly on the table. Right now I'm at Matagorn. I'm at the Waterfront Restaurant. By the way, just a real quick plug for these people. Never eaten here before. There's a little place right here, right? And this little waterfront restaurant right here, it was fantastic. I had stuffed shrimp and baked potato. The food was fantastic. It is really good. They're going to close here in about 30 minutes. I just had a real quick hot meal before the hurricane hits. That's one of my virtues I have, is always get a hot meal before the hurricane hits. So anyway, not the most extreme event, but as far as the hurricanes go, fortunately, right? And it's hitting kind of a lot of these areas out here. You've got a little fishing village here, and you got a lot of shrimp boats. A lot of these areas out here, and you can see the bands offshore keep coming by, and these outer bands will come out. And the tornado will increase as we get toward later this evening and midnight, as an extreme wind comes in, and these outer bands keep coming off the Gulf and coming up over us, and they're moving northwest at about 35 to 40. It's very pretty, gorgeous day here on the coast of Texas. Again, we're in a hurricane warning. We're in a storm surge warning, and if everything works out right, this water should come up about 4 feet. We may be at the water right here where I'm at. Right here, this is about 2 foot, about 2 feet below. So you get toward midnight, and you get the water rise 4 foot, 6 foot in these areas. Then we can have water actually where I'm standing right now. So I won't be right here for sure. But anyway, there's the bridge, goes over to the Outer Banks. From that bridge southward down to the beach is going to be underwater. A lot of these areas right next to the coastline, that 4 to 6 foot storm surge, definitely clearly on the table based on what I'm seeing. So we're waiting for the tropical storm to continue to intensify. There's Hurricane Hunter out there right now. It's been out there for about an hour. Pressure looks like there was like 990, 991. So it's slowly falling, not rapidly, slowly falling. But it should, in the coming hours, the next 6 to 12 hours, the pressure should start falling rapidly. We'll see how low it gets. Somewhere in the 960 to 973 is probably what we're looking at for landfall. A lot of models are in that, some of them are in that 970, 73 camp, which will be like a Cat 1. The H-Wharf is more extreme. It's cut it down to 959, which I think is probably a little bit too extreme. And I think, wouldn't be surprised we're in the 965 range, right? Maybe a high Cat 1 or a low Cat 2. I think is reasonable for this event right now. Basically, just cloudy, bands moving by. It's a beautiful day. Sun's actually out. Not too bad, right? This is some of that drier that works around the mid-levels, and we'll see how this thing unfolds tonight. And I didn't bring the Cyber truck down on this one. I kind of waited till the last minute to see if the storm was even going to be worth chasing, to be honest with you. And so it was too far to drive. It was a 12-hour drive, straight down. And I flew down. Landed last night at about 8 and didn't get over here till about 11 o'clock down here on the coastline. So it was kind of a late start. Just want to make sure this thing's even worth chasing, right? So there's actually going to be a hurricane. I think it will be a hurricane as we get into later this afternoon, and we'll should start rapidly intensifying. It's very warm waters, very low shear. The shear goes down below 5 knots, which has been impeding it, thank goodness, over the last 48, 72 hours. All the shear on the southwest flank with the upper level low, and the trough is coming down in Texas and Oklahoma this afternoon. It'll help grab this thing, because once it makes landfall, it's going to grab it and it's going to rock it in northeast, up into northeast Texas during the day tomorrow. So once this thing comes ashore, it's going to be moving, right now it's moving at 12, 13 miles an hour. As you get into the day tomorrow, it'll be 15 and up to 20, 25 miles an hour. Once it gets inland, it's going to blast. So the sun will be coming out here, hurricane in the morning, early morning, and that midnight to 6 a.m. time frame. And then as soon as that thing passes, then the sun's going to come out. We're going to go to southwest winds, to calm down from 70, 90 mile an hour down to 40 to 30 to 20 by noon, and it's going to end up being a beautiful day after the hurricane passes. By mid-morning, late morning, the sun's out, and it's back to work, right? Everything's back to normal. So anyway, that's kind of it from the Texas Gulf Coast. Nothing really bad, but just a basic hurricanes coming to the Texas Gulf Coast. If you're in that flood zone area, evacuate. It will be a hurricane, and I think as you get toward evening, especially getting that midnight hour, things are going to really go down here rapidly. From like 10 o'clock to about 4 o'clock at Matagorda, back over here on the coastal areas, the things will rapidly go downhill rapidly after dark. So heed those warnings for sure. A lot of people have evacuated, moved their boats in. Been seeing a steady stream of boats on these outer islands, bringing their boats inland and securing them. And a lot of people have left the houses, the vacation houses out on the Outer Banks, on the Beryl Islands. A lot of people have left this morning. They're on vacation for the 4th of July holiday, so that's good news. So anyway, that's the biggest concern right now. But this is a rapidly developing hurricane. By later today, we'll have a hurricane out probably by the 5 o'clock advisory. Probably about be more like 9 o'clock for the hurricane officially gets those numbers up to where they need to be. But it's a beautiful day here along the Texas Gulf Coast. Thanks for tuning in. We're bringing you updates. We'll plan on streaming a little bit later. We'll have Starlink up and running, so it should be an interesting night. It's going to be a long night actually, and to tomorrow morning. So that's it from the Texas coast. Hope everybody does well. Yes, and I think you guys will have some heavy rains up Austin and probably east of you back over toward Tyler, and then from Houston, just west of Houston on up across east central Texas. You guys are going to have a good 4 to 8 inches of rain, and probably isolated minutes of 12, and I'm hearing 15 inches as well. So anyway, that's it from here. I hope everybody stays safe, and thanks for tuning in. We'll be in touch with you a little bit later today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.